So let me just start by thanking the IAC and the IAC board for organizing such a wonderful event in celebration of my dad's life. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I also want to thank the Indian Consulate for providing such an amazing venue for the event. And finally, to all of you who've come here today to share your memories and celebrate his life. So thank you very much. I also especially want to thank Ustad Amjad Ali Khan for gracing the occasion with your presence. Azab, thank you for coming, sir. There's not much more I can add to what you've heard today. As I try and recall my dad's life, I feel he lived three distinct and remarkable chapters, each of which he lived to the fullest. As a child, his first love was sports, and he really accomplished a lot. In 1950-51, many of you probably don't know, he was a member of the UP Ranji Trophy cricket team, representing Allahabad. He was also a national level badminton player. In 1952, as a member of the Allahabad University badminton team, his team reached the finals of the All India Inter-University Badminton Tournament between Allahabad University and Bombay University. And the final match was played to a crowd of almost 15,000 individuals who had come to watch my dad play Nandu Matekar, who at the time was the Indian badminton champion. He also played a number of sports at the club level, including cricket and squash. So he really was truly a very, very good sportsman. And then he moved to Kolkata in the 50s from Allahabad University. As a young individual, he was a mercantile executive when he came to Kolkata. And that's where he married Kunti, my mother. And that's when a glorious second chapter in his life began. I remember a high-octane, socially active life that my dad lived in Kolkata, the likes of which you can all hardly imagine, mostly consisting of multiple social events in any given evening. He played all-night bridge sessions on the weekends. He played golf at many clubs. And his fabulous storytelling. He really was a legendary storyteller, and you only have to have heard him tell a story to believe how effective and how entertaining he was telling stories. I remember that a lot about him. And from the humble background he came from, it was marvelous to see the social network he ended up creating in Kolkata. It was really a wonder to watch. There's a famous book that came out in 2005 in the US called Never Eat Alone by Keith Farazi, and my dad was living those principles sort of 50 years ahead of his time in Kolkata in the 60s and 70s. And then, as many of you know, he met Ajit Narayan Hapsar, the venerable chairman of ITC in 1977. And the two of them got together and created the Sangeet Research Academy. And that probably was the most glorious and last chapter of his life. His contribution to music is extremely well known, but sometimes I felt that what was less appreciated about him was how selflessly he went about his contribution to music. I watched him firsthand put the interest of others first above his own on almost all occasions. And I think someone sort of coined a phrase at one point along the lines of Pandit Vijay Kishore, always having an attitude of gratitude. And that truly represented my dad, I think, quite well. Many have benefited from his selfless love of music, his dedication to building the academy, and his inspirational service to those around him. So this was his last and final chapter. So thank you again for coming tonight, and a very good evening.